Alright, it looks like we have a key smash versus shout out to Jax. Come up with your ratings for these respective file names.
I want someone to shout out themselves in a file name. I think that would be fun.
I think the Celeste community is far too self-deprecating to ever do that.
That is true. But we are off at roughly the same time, which is good. So what do you see on this board?
Alright, let's see. We have Talk to Theo in Awake and Talk to Theo in Crossing. Both things which could be rushed. Get a 1-up in 2A.
Could be rushed. Grabless start at 3A, yeah.
Yeah. Get a 1-up in 2A could synergize with 10 berries in 3 chapters, though obviously that's something you probably focus on a bit later.
There's,
finish it.
What progress is there on the board? There's Rich, Blue Heart, 9 Binoculars, Grabless, Lake, I guess?
Temple Cassette.
Temple Cassette, and Temple A-Side, I guess?
And Key in Depths.
And Key in Search.
So there's certainly an argument for just kind of rushing 5A to a certain extent. On the other hand, those would also work with going into Resort for 2 keys and 2 chapters, and there's a huge mess order. I think I saw it.
Mess order,
it's an objective. Reach Old Site in Pico 8.
But at first glance, this does kind of look like a 3 skip to me. There's not that much in 3A, and there's a lot of stuff in Temple.
Yeah, this looks a lot like you go back to 3A maybe after playing Depths.
Yeah, there's no 3A stuff after Mess, that is true. We'll see if either player commits to berries. Nope, both looking like they're just playing 80% for now. Okay,
yeah, they both get the winged. There is, I think, 8 winged, yeah. 8 winged berries is on the board, so they won't get that until much later, but it's good to be set up for it. Taking a short death.
First wing loses like milliseconds or something, 20%. I don't know how much it loses, but it's not very much either way. I guess worth mentioning now is that Jax does have a pretty sizable execution advantage, I would say, over Reed if they are in a straight race. So we'll see if that ends up factoring in. You can see here Jax about 2 rooms ahead in 1A.
Yeah, I mean, some of that is that Reed took a death. We lost a couple of seconds to that.
Jax has a slight lead in 2A, and I imagine he won't be doing very much in 2A. Could be talking to Theo, I guess, which would even out the progress disadvantage that Reed has, but that's just nothing in 2A.
There is the 1-up, so we'll see if either player goes for that.
I would say 1-up on this board is kind of bait, because there's not that many berry objectives, and there are a lot of mid-game objectives. Jax is going for it though, or is Jax going to go for a progress 1-up instead? It looks like Jax is going for progress 1-up, and Reed is also going for progress 1-up.
Okay, so from Reed I expected this. From Jax, I'm not 100% sure if that was Jax going for a progress 1-up or just getting 2 fast berries.
Reed skipping Bino. I mean, yeah, there's like the only Bino objective you'd be getting the Bino for is 9 Binos, and that's not coming for a while. Reed is 4 out of 6 berries through progress 2A 1-up. Collected 1.
I have seen Reed do this before, so it's very plausible.
Ooh, Jax takes a death in the long intervention room. That's going to let Reed catch up actually quite a lot. Despite doing progress 1-up, Reed's now in the same room as Jax. and has finished the 1-up. And it's going to delay it. I mean, it's going to delay it, I guess. If you think Jax hasn't also done it, then fair enough.
Yeah, like, you don't expect pretty much anyone other than Reed to go for a progress 1-up in 2A. It could happen.
I feel like you would be the type of person to do it.
I tried it like once and I failed it.
But either way, Jax has ticked Talk to Theo and Awake. Reed has 1-up in 2A and can delay that for basically however long they want. But they are basically out of 2A.
So I think if Jax hadn't ticked...
Hi, Archie.
If Jax hadn't ticked Theo and Awake, I think Reed would have... Okay, Reed takes the 1-up. So the last time I saw Reed do a progress to a 1-up, they just delayed it until the wake-up cutscene at the end of Intervention, just to not lose time. I think here they could have delayed for longer, seeing that Jax had very definitely gone past it to get to Awake, but also you don't particularly give up information by taking to a 1-up, so it doesn't really matter either way.
You don't stand to gain anything from delaying to a 1-up, because your opponent knows you played 2A unless you skip 2A, but this is not a board where you can skip 2A. So telling them you did 2A 1-up basically doesn't help anything. You might as well take it. Jax goes the cassette bino. That gives Reed the lead. That's interesting. So Jax is, I guess, prioritizing binos, but this means if Reed goes to the heart, Reed should get it first? It's gonna be close. We'll see if Jax does fast heart.
Reed gets it. The objective turns purple. And okay, that was actually...
Yeah, that is very
I didn't expect that to be as close as it was.
Yeah, because I think Jax did fast heart and Reed just stepped on the Mario block, I think that is.
Yeah.
Which I'm not sure which game that's a reference from. Either way, I had to look that one up of my first playthrough. Oh no, Reed dying on Block Ultra. Jax getting it. Super Mario Bros. 3 got it. And now, presumably the rest of the 4A will just be any percent. I don't see any objectives in 4A. So yeah, skipping binos has been a pretty good play from Reed, I would say, to some of that, to just try and eat back some of that execution disadvantage to Jax.
Yeah, I mean, Reed is very used to playing with an execution disadvantage, and I would highlight one way that they tend to do really well at it is this kind of laser-focused prioritization.
Yeah, if you don't need an objective right now, you don't have to go for it. But dies on second Block Ultra, but Jax also has a time in the last room of Old Trail, so I think that ends up being about even, but Jax goes Marlin route. And Reed dies again, no!
This might be deliberate from Jax because Old Trail berries is on the board, so just getting one of the last 2 berries in Old Trail saves you a small amount of time later.
Yeah, Reed dying twice on our second Block Ultra is not going to help my cause. And Reed also going Marlin route. That one didn't look intentional, but maybe it was, I don't know.
Shoutouts to when this used to actually be an objective.
No, Reed goes Marlin route and doesn't take the berry. Okay, fine. Then it definitely wasn't intentional, but okay. So, I guess, what do you do as Reed? Presumably you're going to lose Temple Cassette. But seeing how behind you are into Temple, do you just continue and hope Jax doesn't just play the rest of 5A, or what do you do?
I'm wondering if you if you expect that you're behind as Reed, do you not go for the cassette and instead go straight for the key in depths and then quit out to 3A?
Oh yeah, both key and I forgot who was also on the board. But also, it's like, does it make sense for Jax to go key first and then Cassette? Like, is Jax just far enough ahead that he can know Jax is not far enough ahead to be able to get both? It's only about a 20-second lead.
Yeah. And Jax doesn't know that he's ahead.
Well, I
I mean,
Jax can
for
probably guess he's ahead by the Ridge Blue hard kick.
well, no, because that was like they were getting it at the same time, basically. So to know he's ahead, he has to just assume that he executed the rest of Ridge better than Reed, and he also had some execution moments. He can't know that Reed had worse ones.
But Jax does indeed go for key first.
Okay.
I mean, 2 keys and 2 is on the board, so that is a reason to go for key first.
Yeah, so the key has synergy, whereas the cassette doesn't. So this does kind of make sense.
Presumably before Reed is even thinking about it, so Reed just has to go for cassette now. If he wants to get anything out of want to get anything out of this. Does Jax go for the cassette? Jax just doesn't go for the cassette. That's, I think, a smart play. Because you don't know how far ahead, and Reed also doesn't go for cassette. They're just both rushing 5A. Which doesn't bode well for Reed unless Jax has a few execution moments. Yeah, I mean, if you never, there's no reason to play 5B on this board, so do you think the cassette is reasonable?
So, I think this makes sense from Reed, because I think if based on the timing of the key and depth tick, if Jax had gone for the cassette after the key, he would have won it. Yeah. The reason that Reed could have got that objective is because Jax didn't go for it. But now, I wouldn't be surprised if Reed now were to go back for the cassette. They don't have to, but I wouldn't be surprised, because with it not having been ticked by now, you know that Jax didn't go for it.
And Reed unlocks unraveled and quits out 3A. Straight to results. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, again, Reed, seeing that Temple Cassette wasn't ticked, now knows they're just behind. I think that is safe to assume, because had Jax gotten Temple Cassette, he would have ticked it. So, you can assume that Jax is now just rushing key search key. So this is a smart play from Reed, I think. Yeah,
so I guess my guess here for what Reed does at this point would be do Grappler's start to 3A, which gets you 2 keys in 3A, then go for Temple Cassette and get 2 keys in 5B, 2 keys in 2.
I mean, Theo and Crossing is still on the board.
Oh yeah, that's also an option.
That's a 30-second objective. Someone's gonna take that at some point, right? Right. I mean, I guess after these, Jax gets not Theo and Search, Key and Search. Presumably, I guess Jax could just finish out 5A, but there's not that much after 5A to be doing. As Meta pointed out in chat, what is the late game? I don't see
7B. 7B is the late game. Easter Egg Room and Reflection.
Easter Egg Room, all berries, 2,000 meters. Grabless Lake is not late game. It's kind of progress, I guess, but either way, Reed is not Reed. Jax is finishing out Search, so this gives Reed the possibility to just mop up a bunch of objectives. We'll see if Reed quits out at Mess. They do. So go for Theo, presumably. Yeah. Yeah. So Sam, I mean, I don't have specific timings in my head, but my instinct would say that getting Depth's key after cassette is probably faster for just getting the keys, but getting them in 5B, you're also making progress through 5B. Oh, and Jax thinks for a little bit, then continues through Rescue, which is really good for Reed, because Reed is going to be able to get 2 keys in 2. Presumably with Depth's key, because that is by far the fastest key for Reed, and for all Reed knows, Jax could be contesting this, so it's a good move, I think. Oh yeah, and Mirror Temple Cassette is still on the board. Right. So this puts Reed at 5, presumably they get both of these objectives, and Jack's at 4 when he finishes 5A. I'm curious to see what Jax does after 5A, because if Jax goes into 3A, then the advantage might swing to Reed as Reed takes 2 keys in 2, so now Jax knows that Reed has been in 3A. I guess actually he doesn't. But 2 keys in 2 could mean 2 keys into 5A and 2 keys in 5B.
Oh, right. I didn't notice that Reed hadn't actually ticked Grappler's start of 3A.
I mean,
is...
key and search has been ticked.
Yeah,
yeah.
But Jax could have gone back to 3A after search.
After search, yeah, true. And now it gets ticked. Maybe that was just a really well. No, that couldn't have been that much of a. Interesting. Because yeah, Jax definitely could have sniped Drab the start of 3A had he just immediately gone back for it.
Okay, Jax is going back to 2A, which I'm guessing is 10 berries in 3 play.
Huh. Oh, Reed is also doing 10 berries in 3. Reed is getting berries in Ultra, but yeah. Why would you do this in 2A when Old Trail Berries is literally on the board? I think I'd much prefer Reed's play here. Because there's no other reason to be getting berries in 2A. So yeah, advantage Reed, I think, for now. So what, Jax has advantage to Temple A side, well Jax has Temple A side, I think. Grabless Slate, and he's going for Reflection. Reed has advantage to Mess Order, Pico, and is going to get 4 berries Old Trail. Yeah, Jax gets 10 berries and gets berries in 1A.
Yeah, and Zuva, Jax does obviously have to take Temple A side at some point, but he can know based on what Reed has been doing that Reed is not close to Temple. Finishing Temple. Like Reed could, after taking Temple Cassette, have gone straight into 5B, but that still gives like 2.5 to 3 minutes.
And with the Old Trail pick, you know Reed is not playing Progress. So does Reed contest 10 and 3 immediately? Yep, they do. Goes right to getting 10 berries and 4A. I think Jax wins 10 and 3. Yeah, Jax has 23 berries and Reed has like something close to 15. If I had to guess. Oh no, it might be closer than I think it is. As Jax finally takes Temple A side. Probably could have delayed that a little longer, but better safe than sorry. Jax only has 9 and 2A. I wasn't paying attention close enough. Reed opts to, again, go for 10 and 5A because that is an objective. 20 and 5 is an objective, so it's progress to both, whereas again, Jack's getting berries in 1A. There's nothing else in 1A. I say that, Blue Red City is in 1A. But...
yeah, and he did get the Blue Heart and has just got the cassette.
And is now going into Temple to finish 10 and 3. So this could be close. Reed only needs 4 berries in 2A. Or even 3 berries in 2A because they got a botched 1-up attempt. Yeah, Reed has 10 and 4A.
FM, I'd say, yeah, what Sam said, this hedges with 20 berries 5A, so if Reed gets locked out of 10 and 3, they can still keep going for 20 and 5A. Whereas if they went for the 2A berries first and then got locked out, then it's just... well, it's not just wasted time, there's also 15 berries at 4. But...
Is Reed
So
doing
I guess
all of startup? Because how many berries do
quite
they have?
possibly,
Oh no,
or
just
most of
getting 10.
startup.
And now going to do 2A. How many berries does Jax have? This is close. Oh no, Reed is going into 3A. Wait.
Mess order, and they don't know
But
what Jax has been doing.
10 and 3. Wait, was 10 and 3 ticked? No, 10 and 3. Reed, you have to get 3 berries for 10 and 3. Reed. You literally need 3 berries, but no goes into Pico now. Interesting. I guess you might just want Jax to pick some, but now they lose both 10 and 3 and 20 berries in 5A. So suddenly that objective lead has gone all the way back down to 1 now. Going to be... Oh no, Jax just quits out of the 10 berries and goes to do Grappler's Lake.
Yeah, it should be noted that, I mean, even before 10 berries and 3, Reed getting that strat, that's cool. Even before Jax ticked 10 berries and 3, this was still more even than it looked just based off objective count, because there are 2 objectives in 6A, 1 in 7A, 1 in 7B, and those are also good for 2 binos and 4 chapters and 9 binos. And those are all things which Reflection and Summit are chapters which Reed does not have access to yet. Now playing 5B to get access to them.
I mean, could Reed have just won off anti-progress? They need 6 objectives. They have Pico. They have advantage to mess order. But yeah, it does kind of have to contest late game. Huh? Wait. Is going to lose presumably 9 binos. Grappler's Lake has been picked in Easter egg room.
Jax is
going to
picking up.
6B to 10.
Yeah, so the binos
2 binos.
in 6B start.
Wait, is 8C how you unlock variant mode?
Yes. In vanilla.
I just assumed that was always unlocked at the start. Never used variant mode other than playing bingo, so... But Carrie, what if you beat 8C without beating all the C sites? Or enable cheat mode, yeah, that would make sense. Yep, skip the gem. Have I... Is there any reason to get the gem? I don't think there is, because... Yeah, 0 meter gem is something that, like... It makes sense to go for if you're not sure what's on the board, because it doesn't take that much, use that much time to 20%, but if you forget it and you actually need it, you have to replay all of 0 meters.
Yeah, that's probably the logic. If Jax was just looking at it like, I don't remember if I need this, and I only have a few seconds to try and read the board, and I could just spend those few seconds getting the gem.
I guess the reason to play 5B is because there is a heart at the end of 5B. There's a red heart for completing every B side, and you need 4 hearts to unlock 4. And I hope both players will not go into 4 before they have 4 hearts. But that would never happen in an Expert Bingo Bash.
Surely.
Cat is arguing about whether it is Sunday or Saturday. It is... What day is it? This Saturday, right?
It is Saturday.
Who is claiming it was Sunday?
Okay, so it looks like Jax is going to finish off his 9 binoculars in 1B, while also getting blue and red HUD in Second City. Yep, he has 7 binos now, there are 2 binos in 1B. Reed is going into Summit, which...
This is for 9 winged, not 9 winged, 8 winged as well. Reed
so
Reed...
Reed... So this does still make sense for Reed. And it's not just getting locked out of binos, unfortunate moment.
I mean, also there is late game here, because there's both Summit B-side and 2000 meter up. So it's like, even if they were to get locked out of these objectives, it's still some progress towards late game, which they need to contest to be able to get to 13. Like, this game is still, I don't know who has advantage, because Reed, with an objectively not for long, as soon as 9 binos, Blue Red City, and 2 binos and 4 go Jax's way. I guess 2 binos and 4 might not immediately get rushed. What does Jax have 2 binos in? 4A, 7A, 1B, and could go to 6B.
Yeah, so Jax can get that very quickly, whenever he wants to. But it's a question of whether he considers it a priority, and whether Reed considers it a priority.
And Reed is getting binos, but gonna shortly get locked out of these, yeah. So where does Jax go now? Does Jax just finish off 2 and 4? But Jax probably knows 2 and 4 isn't contested. Nope, is just gonna go for 2 and 4. Or just the blue heart, actually. Blue heart for access to 4 makes sense as well. Or berries? 15 and 4? Now?
I mean, if you're in that room getting the bino, it doesn't take that much longer to also get berry. Okay, winged berries. That's...
Jax has
also...
3A. So...
Yeah, but the mess order is not ticked yet. 3A start doesn't take that long.
Yeah. So Reed quits out, is presumably going to go for 8 winged now, and this is a race, but one that Jax is going to lose, unless, like, he has a couple moments. Because Jax will have to take all of 3A start. Although Reed is getting 20 and 2 in 5A, huh? And Jax is continuing Summit. Never mind, this is not an 8-winged race, this is just players doing different things.
I mean, it might be partly if Jax is figuring he just gets 1500 winged and then 2k berries, which includes a winged berry.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
And so then if he doesn't get
you can get it without
winged,
going into 3A ever.
Yeah. And if he doesn't get 8 winged, then he still gets 2k berries and has access to 7B.
Yeah,
and if he does that, then
8
probably
winged,
he gets his 2 binos in 4 in 7B rather than 6B.
Oh, true. So yeah, what I was going to say, at 8 winged, you start thinking instead of what wing do I get, it's what wing can I not get, because not including Wing Golden, there are 10 winged in the game, and there are 2 winged in 3A. So if you don't get the 2 winged in 3A, you have to get every other winged in the game to get 8 winged, and that looks like what Jax is going to be doing now. And this would be a pretty devastating lookout for Reed should he get it, but I think Reed... No, Reed hasn't got Towels winged. I don't know who wins this race, given that Reed is doing 20 and 5A first. Jax gets the cassette, makes sense. And continues playing. I think Reed still wins this because 1500 is a long ass checkpoint, and 2000, not 2000, 2000 is... The wing is quite a way through 2000 meters, right? So... Who are the people that consider wing golden to wing? I mean, it's like sometimes viable, but not really.
I mean, It's a thing you do. Well, so if you do winged golden for some other reason, then obviously it works for that. Otherwise, it's if you're doing like a hard anti-progress route, where it's like, okay. Also, if you have a decent winged golden, because if you're going to take maybe 2.5 minutes to get winged golden, and your progress is only as far as depths, then that's, well, it would take me longer to get the 5X set and play all of 5B, and then I would still have to go into Summit, or I could just get the winged golden.
Reed, no, Reed, you have 7 winged. Reed, go into mess. Reed. Reed.
So the other problem is that if Reed does the mess order, it's towels last.
I mean, you have to like go into mess at least. Like, oh yeah, I guess with towels lost and with the moment had, yeah, this just goes to Jax. It would have gone to Jax without towels lost, because Reed spent about 15-30 seconds just not realizing what wings they were missing. Oh no.
Jax has not ticked the objective. And,
Jax has it,
and Reed
right?
did not do the order, went straight into towels and ticks the objective.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, you just restart Prato. And all of a sudden, I think at 9-9, Jax would have had a pretty big advantage with this progress lead, but...
Oh yeah, 100%. I think if Jax ticks 8 winged, which he had, then I think he pretty much wins the game.
Yeah, because
now,
this regular action 2 and...
Now I think it's still Jax favored.
But Reed has a chance.
Yeah, Reed definitely has a lot more of a chance now.
Because now Jax has to contest either 15 and 4 or 4 blue heart to win. Whereas before he could have just won with Warberries 2,000 meters, Summit B-side 2 and 4 and Easter egg with that. Now Jax has to contest a neutral objective.
Jax has 15 berries in Summit. And, yeah, okay, so Jax is going for 15 and 4.
So Jax has 15 in Summit and 10 in 2, 4 and 5, so... Or 2, 1 and 5, rather. So I guess Jax does have a slight advantage to this. With Reed only having 15 or 20 and 5A.
And the fact that Reed is currently doing a huge mess. Mess orders take an annoying amount of time when you really want to be doing other things.
Yeah, but like you kind of have to do this as Reed, because if you don't, Jax can snipe it. Its 3A start is not very long. And Jax goes for the... Okay, I was about to say, Jax is going for the City Blue Heart again, but no. Is just getting berries.
Surely a high-level bingo player would never get a blue heart that they already got earlier in the game.
Okay. Reed gets the auto quit start, and where does Reed go now? Reed could in theory try and snipe Summit. Here we go. I mean, I guess? Oh, Jax has not ticked 2,000 meter up. That's kind of huge. Because yeah, that's a safe delay. You know Reed has just ticked mess order.
Yeah, well, I think... Yeah, it's more Reed ticked 8 winged, and you know that Reed has been in 3A. So
Reed...
you don't think that the 8 wing is in 2K.
This is quite bad for Reed. Assuming Jax doesn't just forget about the objective and never take it ever, but I trust that Jax is doing a safe delay. As Jax finishes out 15 and 4. Reed will definitely get to the cassettes before Jax finishes 15-4, so Reed will be even to 7B in theory, although I don't know how good Reed 7B is. To be fair, I don't know how good Jax's 7B is either, but I assume it's pretty good, because Jax. Poor Blue Heart is on the board. Okay, now it gets ticked. That's good for Reed. If it got ticked much later, I mean, Jax can't afford to delay that much later, then Reed might be losing a lot of time. But instead, Reed just goes to the cassette and presumably puts out. And tries to get core blue. That's like the only thing.
Yeah, meanwhile, Jax goes back into reflection.
Completely solid.
Yeah. And... So... I'm wondering what Reed does here, because they could go into 7B, get binos in 500 meters, and then try to snipe 2 binos in 4.
Reed just loses that though. Like, Jax has 2 in 1B, 4A, and 7A.
Well, yeah, but, I mean, firstly, they don't know that, and secondly, Jax isn't doing that right now. So
well, I mean, Jax knows...
It's an option.
Not Jax. Reed knows that Jax has been in 1B, Jax has gone into 4A, Jax has gone into 7A, and Jax has played past the 7A cassette. So they know Jax has access to it.
But in fact, Reed is getting hard to get into core. Yeah, which...
Reed needs to get 2 objectives here. They're not getting 2 and 4 realistically.
Yeah.
They know that Jax has done Lake, so... it's the only 2 other objectives left. There's 4 blue and...
See, this, I think, is why, in Reed's position, I would consider trying to snipe 2 binos in 4, because if you just give that up, then Jax gets it in 7B, and you also need to win 7B.
Yeah, and Reed is doing that now. I mean, the thing is, what are the fastest 2 binos? Are the fastest 2 binos here just Farewell after 7B and 4A and 7A? Because Farewell takes a good 1-2 minutes, and Jackson 7B, so yeah.
I think it might be 1B that would be the faster binos, even factoring in getting the cassette.
So... if Jax full commits to this, and Reed full commits to this, we could have a 7B race into a core race. At 12-12. But Reed has to win both of those to win.
Yeah.
Multitask.
Yeah, it's tough for Reed, because 7B is a long chapter, and it's very easy to multitask. Reed is technically advantaged to core because Jax does not have full hearts, but Jax can. If Jax wants to multitask, he can get full hearts pretty quickly. Reed skips.
Jax has 3 hearts. Jax has Blue Red City and Golden Ridge Blue, so it just needs to get 2A. That's barely an advantage. Reed is skipping binos. I mean, again, like, you know, Jax has binos. Does Jax quit out? I mean, you might as well unlock 1000 meters if you're gonna quit out, because it's the second bino of 500 is more or less next. Yes, the second last from the 500. We'll see if either of them quits out at 1000. But yeah, as Jax, you can pretty safely just multitask these 2 objectives, because there's no reason for Reed to have done either. No, Jax is not quitting out yet. Well, I mean, there is a world where they both full commit and Reed wins. There is a world. Means more content. Yeah. Jax will pull ahead here. Well, I mean, at the moment, both of them are strong.
Yeah, I mean, so Jax probably has a better 7B than Reed. But he may be going for some riskier strats, and he may have less practice in it recently. So if he has some difficulties going for more difficult strats, whereas Reed just plays well with more consistent strats, then
Who
Reed
knows?
could win the race.
Yeah, you're looking at a 12-11 7B race, and this is like an actually what do you call it? Like this race means something because if Reed wins the race, it's a straight core race after this, and they both take a death.
They're in the same room. Jax had pulled ahead.
But Jax dies again, and Reed
Yeah.
takes the lead if they can do this run. Yeah, both
and
players are.
This is very much kind
And
of the
Reed
thing
now
I
takes
was.
the death in the cycle room.
Yeah, this is very much the kind of thing I was talking about, where Jax pulled ahead by being faster strats, and then
Jax
had
died.
issues in that room, and I think it definitely looked like Jax did not have a death cycle strat for that room, whereas Reed just kept going.
re-entered the room, I think.
Yeah, so Jax kept exiting the room and re-entering, whereas Reed just kept going and pulled ahead again. And now it's gone back the other way, but if Jax ends
Jax
up having
dies,
another moment,
now Reed's caught up.
just
Oh my god. Who's ahead? Yes. I think is the answer to that. Seems like Jax is. Was there any stream delay? I mean, Reed has spent 2 minutes longer in menus, according to being in it, and Jax quits out. Okay, yeah. This is about what we expected. The quit out came a little later than we possibly expected, but yeah, this is the correct play from Jax. It means we will probably not see a 7B race to the end.
yeah. I mean, I guess from Jack's perspective, it's pretty reasonable to be like, okay,
Well,
I have been in 7B long enough that if Reed was playing core, they would have ticked it. So they're probably playing 7B. Or,
well,
okay, no,
Jack
it was
quits out
just
to
Jax
get more hard.
gets the heart so that the core race will be more even. But
That's
continues
reasonable.
in
Like,
7B.
there's no way Jax knows how close the 7B race would have been. But like, okay, I'm gonna hedge my bets. I might as well get 4 hearts. Okay, Reed doesn't quit out. Does Jax make the reads to be able to quit out at 3k and go to core and just win, or do we have a 7B race?
Yeah, I mean, this wouldn't, unless you think that Reed is like reading your mind and
I mean, that's
will
a
do the
reasonable
perfect
thing to
delays, then it makes sense to multitask. So you quit out at 2.5k, get your 4th heart, quit out at 3k, go into core.
Yeah, Jax quit out at 3k.
Play like 2 checkpoints of core, go back to 7B if it's not ticked.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, Reed surely would have picked core if they were there, so... Jax has 3 blue and 1 red. So this looks like it's going to be Jax, but not without a lot of drama at the end.
Yeah, Reed really made Jax work for this. Jax also made Jax work for this by not taking
Jax could have just
when he had it.
Yeah, ticked 8 winged, and this would have been over like 10 minutes ago. But here we are.
But obviously, a lot of stuff happened before that as well. So
Yeah,
both players possibly could have done things better. They also could have done things a lot worse. And in general, this has just been an incredible match to watch. Very well played by both.
Yeah.
In the fort, Jax comes into stream chat and says that he played like garbage.
Is that something that Jax is known for doing? Or...
I feel like it's the kind of thing he would do.
We shall see. Read about that. This is like a sub 8 7B. I just noticed. I don't know how good that is because I'm not a 7B enjoyer, but that seems good to me. My PB is something like 14 minutes of 7B.
Yeah, my 7B PB is like 7:30-ish, I think. And I got that when I got the golden. So I definitely could go faster, but I would have to go faster and also not die.
Oh no,
Oh.
Reed!
Okay, they didn't die this time. Okay, it's fine.
8:03. GG. And Reed delays? I mean, yeah, might as well. Oh,
Oh no!
Reed never skipped!
No, Reed did skip, but if you finish, it's just if you unlock Epilogue, you have to play it. So if you finish Summit...
Surely readable people would know this, yeah. But yeah, you have to like,
Yeah.
just get into core.
Yeah, and it's... especially knowing that you have an execution disadvantage.
But it looks like, yeah, Jax has played well past the last checkpoint of Core Harvest Mountain because there is no extra checkpoint at the Bingo. All we need Jax to do now is spend 3 minutes in the cassette room and we have a race on our hands. Has cassettes, like, skip been done by any one RTA? I know there's, like, that one video of someone doing it with
Zcat has done it with, like, a lot
500
with pulse buffering, yeah. Okay, Reed takes 7B. Jax is close to the end of core. Very well played by both players. You'd love to see a 13-12 for the first match of the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I look at the board and I look, what one objective could Reed have gotten off of Jax? And I'm not seeing that much. 10-3. Reed could have won 10-3, and that might have made the difference. Of course, Jax could have ticked 8 wings, but in a game this close, there's so many things that could have just gone slightly differently, and we would have a completely different outcome. But Core Glue Heart gets ticked, and the first round of the Expert Bingo Bash goes to Jax. GG. What a game. Sure hope the rest of the bash is like this. More content, please.
Complete 5 A sides, complete 5 B sides.
Surely those objectives will be taken by different players.
One would think. But, man, talking about that B-side synergy that I was hoping for, you've got City B-side and Library, and, like, that's it. Yeah, getting to 5 B-sides would be a nightmare on this board. So instead, there's just a ton of A-side big stuff. You've got all collectibles 2A, you've got all collectibles 1A, you've got all berries start at 5A, a couple of individual 1-ups, a new objective, which is 5 berries in 8A, which means deep into core, but not necessarily completing it, although one could see that for 5th A side, maybe, if you don't do your skipped chapter out of 1 through 5. Yeah, so routing. 1-up in 1A and 2 1-ups also on the board. That's kind of interesting. Possibly go for a 2-up in 1A.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if those get doubled up or split. Like if one player just goes for 1 1-up and one gets 2 1-ups.
It's interesting. It's like a little game of chicken. It's like, are you going to get the 7th berry? Am I going to get the 7th berry?
Resort on this board is interesting. Obviously, you can do it for complete 5A sides, and you get access to library and 3B. The mess order is towels, chests, books. But there's also resort to blue heart on the board, for which you would want to go towels, book, chests.
That's interesting. Well, you can always
Uh,
just not do the skip. You'd still have to backtrack
Yeah.
through towels and then just go back into the hub. A little
Yeah.
unusual. 2 keys in 2, if you don't want to do resort, you could pair that with Grabless Power Source, maybe. But I'm not sure where you would fit that into the arc of the game. So both players going for 1-ups. How many? Let's see.
Okay, Talia collects early, Raki takes the objective. We have a bit of delay between the streams of the board. Let's see if Talia keeps going, because she only has 5 berries at this point.
Talia has a chance to get the double 1-up, maybe.
And it turns purple.
It does, so that's
Uh,
interesting. A bifurcation
so-
right away.
So Talia is purple, even though she appears to be red. We had some weird stuff going on in Bingo Sync, where she said she was purple and everyone else was seeing her as red, so that might be where the problem has arisen. Okay.
We will exit city first. And there's our score update. Talia correctly purple. E into 2A. So we've got all collectibles. Not going to do that first pass, but there's also, okay, there's 4 hearts, 4 cassettes, and 7 hearts. Which 7 hearts is definitely a partial B-side objective, so that's a little bit of the synergy I was looking for to justify eventually ticking 5 B-sides. So
Yeah, I guess in theory you could get 7 hearts with like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 blue, but
yeah, I guess so.
it's an option. But playing a B-side is also very much a viable option. Especially
I mean, at the very least, 1B. 1B is less than 2 minutes, and it's a heart, and it's on the board. I would certainly pick that over something like maybe 6A blue, which, other than 7 hearts, there's not much reason for. 2 Theo cutscenes is on the board, which will be accessible once these players get to Awake, if you want to prioritize it early. I'm really curious as to whether Resort gets skipped here. What's in Ridge specifically? Not much. Anything? Oh, I'm clueless. 6A Blue Heart is literally on the board. I didn't see that. So you would want to get 6A Blue Heart.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any objectives specifically in Ridge. But of course it's faster progress to Temple and late game. So for that reason I think it's definitely justifiable to skip 3A. I also think it's probably justifiable to play it. So Raki goes into 3A having not bothered talking to Theo. So Talia has the option to go for the 2 optional Theo cutscenes here, or to also just keep rushing progress.
What are we seeing? I think Talia's just going to be pushing forward as well, so... I think 3A, 5A makes a lot of sense, not only because there's nothing in Ridge, but then it also gives you your 2 keys in 2 access without farewell nonsense.
Okay, and Talia skips 3A.
Yeah, now we've got
So we
something
have a route
interesting.
divergence.
That's always fun. So this puts Talia into 5A first, because as we pointed out, there's really nothing to waste time with in 4A.
Okay, Talia is going for the Ridge cassette, presumably thinking about 4 hearts, 4 cassettes, and complete 5 B-sides further down the line. So there is hope that Talia 4B will make an appearance in this game.
I was gonna say 4B first pass, but surely not. That would be a too bold choice on a board like this.
Yeah, it's like you could do it, but I think you want
there
the
were
faster
something
progress.
like, I mean, there's 2 binos in 4, but there's not a big bino aggregate objective
Yeah,
that would justify, hey, I
if
need
that-
these 4 binos right now.
yeah. If there wasn't as much in 5A, and if there wasn't 5A sides, then you could think about it that the fact that you lose out on progress to Temple and to complete 5A sides both make it not an attractive prospect, unfortunately.
Rocky's 3A heart tick is going to give Talia the information she needs to feel comfortable progressing through 4A here and knowing that she's going to be first into 5A. That's a slight advantage.
Yeah, so talking about 5A objectives, what do we have? All berries in start, which is a bit long. 3
It's a bit
keys
long,
in search.
but pairs nicely with 1-up in 5A, because you're already getting 6 of the berries for that.
Yeah, although, I mean, if I'm doing a 5A 1-up, personally, there are 2 berries at the bottom that I skip, and would
That's
then have to go back for to complete all start berries.
Fair point. That being said, again, I think in Talia's position here, where I know I'm going to get out of Ridge before my opponent gets out of Resort, I think I don't mind spending the time doing that for 2 points.
Yeah, I think you definitely go for the 1-up. I just don't know if you carry it through all the way into the start berries, or if you leave a few to get later.
Opponent, you know, that this isn't worth contesting start berries, and then you can just save it for later.
Especially because you do have to consider the possibility that your opponent doesn't have to skip Ridge into Temple to contest you there. He can play Ridge any percent very quickly and just skip Temple to get, say, Reflection Blue Heart or All Binoculars in 1000 meters.
This is kind of another board with a wonky late game. Just like last time, it's not like there's 3 or 4 things sitting there in Summit for you. The late game is 5 A sides, 5 B sides, all berries 2K.
Yeah. So
I like
Talia
this one. Yeah.
goes back to 2 often field cutscenes. This
That's
is
a
good.
great use of leveraging your advantage in progress.
Yeah, I also just noticed now that you mentioned the possibility of getting 2 keys and 2 chapters from 3A and Farewell, or indeed, I suppose you could do it from 5A and Farewell, either way, with Gravel's Power Source. There's also use 5 binoculars in Farewell, and that also works with use 2 binoculars in 4 chapters, so an early Farewell play might be interesting, certainly, and possibly good.
For which player do you think that would make more sense?
It depends kind of how much it's something you want to rush, is the thing, because the thing is, if Raki wants to rush that, then he would skip Ridge to get access to Farewell, but he could also skip Ridge to get access to Temple.
Yeah.
Whereas
so
for Talia, she would be going for 5A and Farewell for keys. So it would be something more to go back for later. Also, Talia is having difficulty trying to get a 1-up.
Going for some of these
skipping the start
unadvised berries.
Yeah. This is very much, I think. Okay, and Raki skips Ridge into 5A, and unfortunately, with the time Talia spent doing Theo cutscenes and then failing that one-up, she has lost her progress lead into Temple, which could be bad for her. Raki is skipping Start Berries and the one-up. Whereas Talia gets the 1A cassette and goes straight into 1B? Question mark? Yes.
I would think so. And Raki doesn't really know where Talia is at this point. Because the 2 1-ups was an early tick, and then 2 Theo cutscenes just means you went back. So, did Talia trail through Resort? Did Talia skip Resort? Raki has no clue. And again, with the lack of a real, summit reflection rush here, I don't mind the play of 1B this early. It's a little strange, but like that's the way this mid game is going to be kind of all over the place, I think, as people decide what larger things they want to commit to. So I mean, this is progress toward 4 hearts, 4 cassettes. It's long-term progress toward 7 hearts and 5 B-sides. So it's justifiable. I do think this is around the point where somebody starts eyeing. So, I mean, Raki gets 2 keys in 2, so that takes one thing out of Farewell, but there's still Grapple's Power Source and 5 binos. So somebody's going to play Farewell at some point.
Yep. Okay, yeah, and Raki, having gotten the Depths key for 2 keys in 2, also uses it to get the Blue Heart for progress to 7 hearts later.
It's definitely a good idea. 5A heart being one of the longer ones to get access to, so if you've already got the Depths key, go for it. Nice Ultra into the heart.
Okay, and Raki quits out and goes back to 5A start. This makes sense since Start Berries and 1-up are still unticked. Previously, he probably assumed that he would lose those because he was behind Talia entering Temple. But obviously she had difficulty with the 1-up. And so Raki is going for this first Start Berry, while Talia goes straight for the 1-up. I didn't notice if she got that first Start Berry the first time round, but I don't think she did. But now she is not going for the berries and is just playing the chapter. So Raki will get the objectives here, which gives him a sizable lead. This is looking difficult for Talia, but she definitely has still some advantages to some objectives that she can try to parlay into something. Obviously, she's having played 1B, she's advantaged to Raki also having a difficulty with this 1-up. Talia is advantaged to 2 binoculars and 4 chapters. She is advantaged to 4 hearts and 4 cassettes, and complete 5 B-sides, though that's obviously a much later objective. And while Raki is taking a while to do this 1-up and having issues with it, Talia is retaking progress advantage.
5A not being kind to either player going for these Start Berries and 1-up. Yeah. So the progress advantage is good. I mean, there's still things like Reflection Blue Heart. There's a couple things in Summit, but in general, there's so much divergence from this point on the board that it's kind of hard to give anybody a pure advantage.
Yeah. Talia goes into 5B rather than continuing 5A.
Oh, Raki. Oof.
Obviously, from Talia's perspective, Raki, while she's been playing 1B, Rocky could easily have been progressing 5A, so she would lose search keys. And this just plays into her advantage to hearts and B-sides later on. Rocky finally gets the one-up.
Let's go. You love to see that. And yeah, I like this from Talia. Playing toward those longer-term objectives. I think this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and obviously, if she goes into Reflection for Reflection Blue Heart, that synergizes with the other synergies that she's already going for.
I think that would definitely be my priority here as Talia, because Summit's not going to give you anything toward that.
In fact, I'm trying to think. Talia, I think, has 3 cassettes, so she could get Reflection cassette as her 4th when she's there getting the blue heart. She has 1B, she will have 5B. I don't remember if she got any other blue hearts, but she would only need 1 more to combo Reflection Blue and 4 hearts, 4 cassettes.
Rocky finally cleans up the temple start objectives, level up and berries, and he's going to finish 5A for progress and search keys. Two binos in 4 is an objective that's just floating around, that on a board like this, there are many chapters where you could be getting your 2 binos. 7A, Farewell, 4A, 1B, 6B, 4B, Mate, nah, probably not 4B.
I mean, I think there's an argument for 4B in theory, but probably not.
I don't think it's doable for 2 and 4 because yes, Talia has the tape and will probably do it for 5 B-sides, but really late, and by that point 2 and 4 shouldn't be contested anymore.
Yeah, I was basically having the exact same thought process.
Single brain cell.
Yeah, no, Brad. 5B is the only B-side that only has 1 binocular in it. 8B has none at all.
So sad.
4B has 4. The others all have 2. Okay, and Talia goes against what we were saying and goes into Summit rather than Reflection. This obviously she gets some binoculars here, which does also kind of work with what she's been doing, but I definitely would have thought going into Reflection would be better. I think there's more synergy there, and you have more reason to think that that's something Rocky might contest.
What is Rocky going to contest? Getting a heart in 1A? Heading toward 4 hearts, 4 cassettes, perhaps? No.
He's getting berries. All collectibles in 1A. I guess.
Interesting. Well, that still requires the blue heart, so...
It's not something that I would have thought was a priority now. And, okay, Talia quits out of Summit, so I'm guessing maybe that was just I don't know what to do, let's play Summit while I think about it. Which is generally a reasonable thing to do. You know that you want that Summit progress at some point, even if it's not a top priority. And it's something that you can probably do pretty reasonably without needing to engage your brain too much, so you can think about other things. And now we're in 2A, getting heart and cassette, I assume.
And that's Talia's first blue heart. 2 red ones and a blue one. And now heading toward cassette,
Yeah,
Rocky's got cassettes on the mind too, because he's certainly not going to play 1B, but went for the tape. Oh, and yeah, collectibles 1A.
Yeah, so most of ZYW cycle, you love to see it. So yeah, the more synergistic option for Talia would have been to go into 6A, but maybe she's concerned that this objective might be contested right now, so she's prioritizing getting 4 hearts and 4 cassettes as fast as possible instead of trying to get the synergy with Reflection Blue.
I don't mind that because it also serves as kind of a warning to Rocky that 7 hearts is going to be hard for him to get. And I think given that, I don't know that the players know this, but with Talia already having 2 red hearts in the bank, I think there's no way Rocky would win a race to 7.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's always one of these things where if Talia leaves it too long, then Rocky absolutely could do it. But it's a question of figuring out to when do I go for this, and
that's a struggle for both
is it better
right
to
now. There's
leave
so
it
little
just assume my
synergy on
opponent
this
won't
board.
contest?
There's just so much miscellaneous stuff at this point that I think both players might struggle a bit with decision paralysis as they go forward. Rocky is getting the cassette here to unlock 3B at least and possibly win library, which is not contested because Talia hasn't been in Resort.
Yeah, but I guess Rocky has no idea where Talia has been at all.
Yeah, sure.
The only objective she's ticked that specifies a chapter is 1B. And obviously she didn't do that first pass. So, from Rocky's perspective, one of Talia's 4 cassettes could well have been in 3A. So 3B could be contested right now.
Well, now Rocky...
And now he knows that she's in Summit. But...
That's interesting. So Talia's behind 8-5, but is advantaged toward quite a few things here.
Yeah, it's worth noting, Rocky still hasn't finished Temple, so while I definitely feel like Reflection Blue Heart is something that should be on Talia's mind, she's not going to get punished for not getting it. Rocky reaches library.
Yeah, somebody should be going into Farewell soon. I agree with Math Hacker. Maybe both? Maybe right now? No?
Okay, Rocky is getting... Oh, all collectibles in 2A is also on the board. Is that what this heart is for? Or is he thinking about core, maybe?
Core would be a good 5th A side. Has to finish Temple, of course.
And Talia goes back into 5A. I guess 3 keys in search has not been ticked. It's... Yeah,
I think I would rather be doing Farewell than this. That's Talia.
Yeah. And if I were doing this, I think maybe you get the blue heart for 7 hearts while you're here. Obviously it adds a bit of time, but I don't know.
That does add about, 30 seconds to progress the depths between getting and getting the heart.
Yeah. Reed makes the good point that 6A blue is kind of slow. It's 2 minutes for one objective. It is also progress to 6 hearts, which is good, certainly for Talia, who is already progressing towards heart objectives. But the other thing is, everything on this board is slow.
Yeah,
Farewell is kind of the best option because you get 2 objectives there for a notable time investment instead of 1 objective for a notable time investment.
I think Rocky lost a berry. I don't know if he realizes it. Or did it collect? This would be very sad. It collected. Oh, it says collected. That was all right. Let's talk
I was
about...
trying to watch when he returned to map his berry counter at the bottom, but he quit out very quickly.
That's mine. Yep. So Rocky's got that. So Rocky's got 9. The path to 13 is going to be all collectibles 2A, 5 A sides, 5 berries in 8A. That's 12. And then what? 3 keys in search and Talia leaves it?
I guess. Yeah.
I think if that's still available, that might be the next thing I do after all collectibles 2A. Because then you can basically win off core and finishing temple.
Yeah. Which means obviously Talia doesn't know exactly what Raki's doing, but if she can identify that that's Raki's win con, she needs to go back and get 3 keys in search or go into core, because those are the 2 parts of that win con she can realistically snipe. She's not going to contest 5 A sides.
Indeed. Oh, well, that's true. Talia has 3 A sides and could finish core, but yeah, doesn't really have a 5th. Finishing farewell for 5 A sides, IMO.
I mean, she could finish temple in theory, but then you just get 3 keys in search rather than finishing the chapter. And Raki is going for 3 keys in search, while Talia is in farewell. It's obviously important to note that the players don't know what each other are doing, so Talia being in farewell is absolutely not a mistake, because Raki could be here, and if he was here ahead of her, that would be really bad for her.
I mean, by one argument, maybe Raki should be in farewell right now. It would be bad, but he doesn't know that. Ooh, the demo. That's great. Our demo in search. Is Talia not doing Grabless Power Source? Guess not.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. I was wondering if I was just missing the indicator because my Twitch chat is right at the left side of Talia's screen. But yeah, that's unfortunate. Farewell is it's less good to go from chapter to get 4 objectives if you don't do one of them.
True. There's the 3 keys, and that, I think, is pretty bad for Talia.
Yeah, Talia knows now that Raki hasn't been in farewell, which... Well, see, this is the thing. Talia's not going to get punished, at least not soon, for not doing Grabless Power Source. And of course she can just quit out after that binocular. But she has to now realize what she needs to do next, which is core, and she's not doing that.
What is she going to be doing?
Raki is finishing 5A. This makes sense, actually, because Reflection Blueheart is still on the board. He doesn't have to play core.
That's true. I was just debating whether there's a way Talia could win 5 A-sides. Is that crazy?
I mean, it's, as with so many things on this board, it's if Raki doesn't go for it, then absolutely. But if Raki commits to it, then he is advantaged, so he wins.
I think what's wild is just that we joked right at the beginning of the match, surely the same player will not take 5 A-sides and 5 B-sides, but I think there's a world where Talia could do both. I think there's a world where Talia could do both and also lose, which is absurd.
Yeah,
but...
I mean, the reason I said that, to be fair, is because I remember spectating a match in which the same player ticked both of those objectives.
I feel like
Talia goes into core. I think you might have been playing in that game.
I might have
I think
been.
it was a Katango.
And I think I didn't tick either of the objectives. Wow, so each player stealing something that we thought the other player would be favored toward. Talia in core and Raki getting Reflection Blue Heart here.
So the thing is, we were thinking that Raki would play core for 5 berries, and it would be his 5th A-side. I guess it could still be his 5th A-side. And once he's gotten the Reflection
if that's all you're
Blue
playing
Heart,
it for, he can just play Ridge. Because he skipped
oh,
Ridge.
yeah, that would be faster. I'm just trying to envision this world in which Talia finishes core and then goes and finishes Temple and gets 5 A-sides because Raki spent this time getting Reflection Blue instead.
Now that I think about it, I mean, Raki with his 26 level any percent, once he has Reflection Blue Heart in his pocket, he can just play a 2-1x level Ridge to win the game.
Yeah. Owen giving very important information in chat. If you're going for Reflection Blue Heart from the checkpoint, it is faster to go up the right side rather than neutraling up the very large wall. Oh, that's so sad. Those were very cool core strats that Talia just did, and then that she
got
didn't hit the
frozen out of the
switch.
berry. Amazing. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Getting into that room in ice. Yep, and Raki has the critical information and will just plow through Ridge, so enjoy the spectacle of Raki for any percent. For an almost certain 13th point here. Oh, Talia dying on the last pixel of the fireball exiting the room.
Yeah, this is really unfortunate, and just... So looking back, Talia definitely wasn't really having the best time of things early in the match. She had some execution issues.
Yeah, I think that struggle in 5A start the first time through really kind of threw her off and started pivoting to other things, going back to 1B.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, Raki then had a similar struggle in 5A start later, but I think it's worth noting that I think Talia had kind of a bad start to this match. But then in the mid game, she started doing a lot of really good stuff.
I agree.
And it's just, it wasn't enough to come back, but she gave it a really good try. And I mean, still looking at this, obviously, She's going to get 5 berries in 8A. She is favored to all berries 2K. She's favored to 7 hearts. She's favored to 5 B-sides. She's favored to grab this power source. If she had one more objective, she would be advantaged to everything on the board that she would need to win. It's just
Rocky
complete
first
5A
try,
sides.
second blockless. Incredible. Yeah, read 2-1x cliff face entry, just like I said.
Okay, and Talia is completing core, hoping to try and snipe 5A sides, but of course
Sure,
it's...
why not?
I mean, it's the only chance she has, I think, is if she can win that, because she is favored to all the other objectives.
Well, indeed she cannot. 5A sides goes blue. Rocky wins the match. GG. A really well-played game with just a few mistakes on both sides, as we talked about, and Rocky pulls it out.
Yeah, and I mean, realistically, the scoreline is 13-8. Talia was favored to everything left on the board. If you actually play it out, she doesn't necessarily get all of them because she can't do all of them at the same time.
Yeah.
But at the very least, that could easily have been like a 13-11, if not a 13-12.
Yeah, it was a much
Very well
closer
played.
match than the points would indicate. Well played, a lot of fun to watch. Good to see both of these players back in bingo. Got a scheduling switch. We're going to flip Vertal Tempo next, and Crab and Tio will be up after that. And Pocket and I are going to hop off comms to be replaced by Owen and Sam.
Yep. Thanks for hanging out with us. I will see you shortly in the Twitch chat, and then leave to go have dinner. Bye.
Alright, looks like things are getting started here. First thing I'm looking for is what are the players going to rush first? And there are a couple things they might go for. Three wing it is a pretty early objective, 10 berries in 1A. Read the poem 2A, also a pretty common thing to see done early. As far as late game goes, we have 7B once again on the board. You'll love to see it. It's not immediately obvious what route the players should go for, so I'm definitely curious to see where they go. What sort of route they pick here. Yeah, the late game seems to be summit, summit, summit. Going into 1A, I'm curious to see if players will be getting berries here or not.
Great, sorry about that. I'm back. Yeah. So I mean, here in 1A, we have 10 berries in 1A. I don't think that's necessarily something you go for a first pass here, but there are a few winged objectives. You've got 2 winged and 2. You've got 8 winged. So I expect we'll see probably and 3 winged. So with 3 winged on the board, we probably see both winged from both players, I imagine.
Yeah, other than that, there's really not much in the way of berry synergy on this board. There's 15 and 4. 500 meters.
Yeah, so both players just coming through city here. It'll be interesting to see what they do in sight.
Yeah,
we-
tempo.
So we,
Tempo coming out a little bit behind in progress. Took a death at the end of Chasm there, but oh, we have a site skip.
it's interesting.
I don't hate it here.
Yeah, so let's think about what you get out of this. So what you're giving up on 3-winged. Oh, no, actually,
Not
you're
even.
winning 3-winged. No, so you're really only giving up on Poem and 2A.
Poem and 2A and just late game.
And progress, yeah. But in Resort, we have the Blue Heart, we have a Mess Order, we have 5 berries and Pico, you get 2-winged and 2, you get Grabless Sweet. Am I missing something? I think that's it. That's a decent amount of stuff.
Access to Theo cutscenes.
Theo cutscenes as well, yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely quite a bit. Bertle
We do
marks
see Bertle.
wings. I think that might be a little too early for Tempo to buy that was in a wake.
Yes, that definitely gives away the site skip there. That cannot be awake, even with like perfect execution.
Yeah, so assuming that Tempo gets that, he'll probably skip 3A, and then it'll be kind of interesting to see if Bertle giving up progress this early will have downstream consequences.
Yeah, I mean, assuming we see a resort skip from Tempo, he's going to be getting into Ridge and Temple first. And what do we have there? I mean, do we have quick stuff there? We have Key and Depth. Not really much in a Ridge.
No, there's really not.
So,
Binos for 2 binos and 4. And 7 binos.
where are the objectives on this board? This is-
There's a lot of like multi-chapter objectives. 4 cassettes, 5 cassettes, 15 and 4, 2 binos and 4, and then okay, Vertal ticking the Celestial Resort Blue Heart definitely gives it away if it wasn't already clear.
Yeah, and then goes back to both players go back to City for the Blue Heart, and Vertal gets that. That's huge. Like when you're not going to be winning progress, so getting these non-progress objectives is huge. And I think Vertal is going to go for 10 berries and 1A here as well.
Looks that way. And it looks like Tempo might be going for the same thing.
Wow. Ooh, this is going to be close.
Huh.
But I think no, Vertal's got this. Vertal's definitely got this.
Vertal's definitely ahead. I feel like once the site skip has been revealed as Tempo, you want to just seize the opportunity to get well ahead in progress.
Well, I mean, that's one way you can look at it, but also you're probably going to be ahead in progress regardless. So you might want to snag some of these non-progress things, or at least try. But Vertal's winning them all, so.
Vertal's getting them all.
So in the end, Tempo's really just wasted time here because there's not. Okay, you get. There's 15 and 4, but there's not a ton of berry synergy other than that. They're having a bit of a think.
Yeah, I think
Goes into Resort.
it goes into Resort.
Ooh. I think that's just gonna go badly here for him.
seems tough, because it does give you the ability to skip Ridge, but what do you get out of Resort?
You're just gonna be trailing for this entire time. Maybe you're thinking like you're saying, okay, there's not a ton in Ridge or Temple, so you're gonna like skip Temple or something. Try and get into the late game, but there's not a ton of late game either. Or no, there's a decent amount in Summit.
Good amount in Summit.
5 gems, Summit B-side, 2,500 beta berries. I mean, these are slow Summit things. There's
also
500
500 meter berries. And you can just get U7 binoculars pretty quickly.
Yes, but that can happen before that as well. Yeah, it's interesting. So we do see Bertle doing the mess order here.
We do.
As I imagine is expected.
Hopefully Tempo doesn't try to do the mess order here. Oh, well now that it's ticked, certainly. Certainly not.
Okay, Tempo going Pico. This is something you're gonna win at least.
Yeah, you get something that Vertle probably felt favored to.
Ooh,
Oh,
Pico race?
Pico race? A short one, so
It's only 5 berries, so that little advantage Tempo had coming in is pretty huge. But you know, a couple deaths could swing it in theory.
it wouldn't take much, but Tempo seems to be going pretty smoothly.
So Tempo is
turn around.
finally on the board. So I wonder if you just skip Resort now.
Maybe. It looks like that's what's happening.
Or no, back into fight. Awake.
Awake.
Oh, poem. There.
Okay.
I don't know about this.
Fair.
I mean, there isn't a reason to do it right now, 'cause you know Vertle skip. So I think your
Yeah.
time is better spent either skipping Resort and then getting into Ridge, or playing Resort if that's what you're gonna do.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like on the one hand, you want to get on the board with some more objectives, but if they're not ones that are contested, then
Yeah. So we do see the Resort skip here. And Tempo is still going to have a pretty solid lead into Ridge. So manages to steal Pico and keep the progress lead. It's certainly something.
it definitely could have turned out a lot worse after entering 3A. I imagine
Yeah.
Tempo will grab the cassette to get ahead towards those objectives, perhaps. He has the time.
Yeah, but I mean, man, those city objectives were so huge. If Tempo wins one of those, it's 5-3 right now instead. With the progress advantage, like that's a pretty solid position to be in. As a 6-2 is a little bit dicier. So Tempo gets the cassette. 4 cassettes is on the board. I don't think either player has really been going for many cassettes though, so.
No, I think that was the first cassette gotten by either player.
Good backup there by Tempo. The spike wall bounce.
Little trouble with C-pop though.
Shoot.
Alright, they're through. Meanwhile, Vertil now making way into 4A. And getting some quick berries.
Yeah, Vertil with some very good execution here. Vertil, of course, having a 26 any percent, so super strong execution player.
Vertil also does get the cassette.
Matt Factor in chat pointing out something I'd missed. 2 keys and 2. By going into Resort, you do get them in 5A. You get
That is
depth
true.
keys.
And Tempo should win that if they go right for it. I could see a world where if they go for the cassette first, maybe, but
Yeah, I mean, Tempo still has a pretty solid lead here. About a minute. A little bit more.
yeah, should be plenty of time.
So yeah, we'll see. And then do you play 5B? I mean, I guess there's not really a reason to play 5A, is there? Or there's
Access.
Rescue Berry.
Yeah, Rescue Berry. You're not gonna do search cutscene. Or maybe you would, because Tempo didn't get that far in 3A.
Maybe. But I think 5B is just better play here. Get a red heart. You get faster progress. Hit an opponent.
I'm curious how far behind in progress Vertil thinks they are. Because they might not necessarily know that Tempo is right behind them on the 1A objectives.
Yeah, I mean, from Vertil's perspective, Tempo could be, like, basically already at the depth speed. Like, he could already have that and be delaying it. Or just get that and gone to 5B. So, yeah, it's hard to say. What do you do? I mean, as Vertil, you don't really have anything else to do other than just keep playing progress, try to catch up to some degree. To go for the buy now. I mean, I guess you could go. Where else? What do you do as Vertil here? I mean, you could go Farewell, but I don't.
I feel like
think
you just have to play progress until Tempo signals in some way what they've been
Oh.
doing.
Well,
Or not.
we do have Farewell here.
Farewell with DTS. Messes up the cutscene trigger.
But I think Vertil was thinking they could get 2 keys and 2 here. But now that Tempo has ticked that, the only thing in Farewell is 3 keys and Power Source, as well as getting a couple binos. Or actually a lot of binos. You could get all the way to 7 binos here pretty easily.
Ooh,
Vertil
Vertil fails DTS,
and
restarts
restarting
chapter.
chapter.
The common bingo strategy for DTS is to attempt it and then continue with 1 dash if you fail rather than restart and give up that time again. But if Vertil isn't practiced with 1 dash farewell strats, I could see this being worthwhile.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, it's not really worth to restart unless you're going all the way to Event Horizon or something, but if you're just way more comfortable with or only practiced with one strat, then, you know. Anyway, we see Tempo go back into 2A here. I think this is a 4 contested play, and 5 contested play as well.
That makes sense to me. So,
Yeah, I actually-
look at those.
The more I look at this, the more I like Tempo's position here. Gonna be getting 4 cassettes and stuff. Vert'll probably win binos, but Tempo's gonna be getting into Summit, and then a lot of stuff there. Like, as Vert'l, what do you do to counter Summit? You're gonna get binos, you're gonna get farewell, you do B-sides,
B-sides could make sense. Finish 2 binos in 4 that way. Go for 3 blue, 3 red. Is there enough for Vert'l to get to 13?
Yeah, I mean, farewell gets you to 8, binos gets you to 10. So then from B-sides, 3 blues, 3 red is 11. And then what? Like, you've got to go for like 15-4 or rescue or...
Yeah, it's gotta be Theo cutscenes or rescue or something very slow and out of the way.
Anyway, meanwhile, Tempo's gone back into Resort here. What are you getting from this? Theo cutscene, maybe?
I think that could be Tempo's plan for the 5th cassette as well.
Yeah, that's also an option. And 3 Theo cutscenes is also another non-progress thing you're taking away from Brittle.
Yeah, and at this point in the game, it's not too big a time commitment. For Tempo, at least. Vert'l not having played 2A would have to commit a bit more.
Yeah, now that said, Vert'l is going into Temple here. If Tempo takes too long doing other stuff, and Vert'l pulls ahead in the Summit, that would be basically game over. As Tempo, you need the Summit stuff.
Definitely. Tempo getting Theo cutscenes. Nope,
Continues on for cassette. Yeah, I think Vert'l might pull ahead here. And I guess that's one, instead of trying to counterplay, you just steal Summit. That is a game winner, pretty much.
Yeah, if Vert'l gets into Summit first, there's just no way.
Vert'l is going for the winged here. Although Vert'l might go 5A if they're worried about, if they don't think they can contest Summit. Although nope, Rasheen set, so.
Yep. I could
So
see
if Tempo quits out and goes 5B right now, he will be into 5B a little bit ahead, but Vert'l has an execution advantage. So, oh no, going awake.
It seems like Tempo might be getting the rest of the Theo cutscenes, which would definitely give Vert'l enough time to get ahead.
That's huge. Meanwhile, Vert'l does tick power source keys. And yeah, into 5B. So Vert'l can basically just play 5B Summit and win.
Looks that way.
Yeah, so I mean, in this match, we saw Vertil do the side skip, but then Tempo really sort of failed to capitalize on the execution or the progress advantage. I mean, basically only got depth, key, and 2 out of that.
Yeah. Getting locked out of the 1A objectives, even with like with the side skip, and just not keeping that progress advantage. Seems to be too much to overcome.
Yeah, I mean, this board sort of had 2 big groups of objectives that had a bunch of stuff in Resort and a bunch of stuff in Summit. And when one person wins both of those, it's very hard for the other person to win.
It certainly doesn't help that Vertil's execution is so strong that Tempo probably didn't have as much time to work with as he might be used to from facing other opponents.
Yeah, that's also true. Sort of going for pillarless here. Okay, just a 1 attempt. I respect it. It's a terrible strat, but I respect it.
It's not one that I try to do.
I think it's insane that people do that in full game, much less bingo. Like Celeste in 2022.
Yeah, the kind of things people are doing these days. Just a little outrageous.
Turtle finishing up 5B. I imagine we'll be going straight into Summit.
Yeah, there's not much reason to do anything else.
Yep. So I guess the one thing is, still gonna take a while before Vertil gets to 13. We'll see if Tempo calls GG, but if not, we could be here. We could be seeing some prime Vertil Summit action here for a solid several minutes.
Yeah, it could go all the way to 2.5k.
Vertil is, of course, the Summit IL record holder. So, should be seeing some very good strats. Sabano.
Yeah, I think the only thing that could potentially go wrong is if, for some reason, Vertil tries to delay something, but I can't imagine why that would happen.
Yeah, now, the one thing Tempo could do here, Tempo can try and just play any percent in a rush and steal 2,500 meter berries. And actually, is there a case where Tempo can win this still? I mean, surely not, right? Like you'd have to steal some stuff and then win all the rest of the stuff, but. Like, if Vertil goes for gems, I mean, well, You just have to have such good execution here, or rely on Vertle messing up.
Yeah, tempo, any percent, probably doesn't even win 2.5k berries at this point, I don't think.
Yeah, no, they're probably not. Although you might get 8 winged actually. Vertle only had like 6.
But Vertle doesn't even need 8 wings. Because Vertle has 2 binos in 3 chapters now.
That's true. But if Vertle was in Summit, that's something Tempo could go steal.
Yeah, Tempo has... I don't know if Tempo's been getting binos at all.
I mean, it's Tempo, what you can do here, you could go to 2 binos in 7B. Gotta get the wings first, though. Yeah, I mean, realistically, Tempo has basically no chance, but theoretically, there's a world. Just needs 1 more winged to be awake. And then, yeah, I mean, I think you have to... It's Tempo. Vertle is going to get gems and 2,500 meter berries, so it's Tempo, you have to win everything else.
Vertle has also been getting random berries along the way, so they will have 15 in Summit at the end of this, I think. And they've been getting miscellaneous berries in some of the other chapters too. I'm not sure if Tempo has been. Just trying to think of what Tempo might be able to win from here.
Yeah, so if I'm Tempo here, I think I go to 7B, get the binos there, and then quit out, finish up 2 and 4 in like 1B or something.
That seems like the safest play, yeah.
It does look like Vertle is gonna return the map here. Or are they gonna go back in? It does return the map after 5 gems. And it's gonna go into 1B. And this is for binos, and this is gonna steal it.
Yeah, this makes things quite safe.
Yep. And a reminder, this is a double elimination bracket, so we will be seeing both these players. We'll be seeing both these players going forward. Looks like Vertle is probably going to be moving into the winners bracket second round, and Tempo will be in the losers bracket.
Out to Maxo.
Vertle takes 2 and 4. And it looks like Tempo not quite calling GG. So, are you gonna play it out? See how far he can get in 7B maybe before Vertle gets the 13th objective.
Which objective do we think Vertle's gonna go for as the last one?
I think fastest might be 3 blue, 3 red. Because you'll have 2 red here. You just need to play 2B or something. I think that's faster than doing all of 2K and then 2500 ARB. But it looks like we will see. Oh, 1500. What?
What's here?
Oh, cassette. Or no, don't go 7B. I don't want. This match is gonna go for another like 8 minutes if you go 7B.
Bertle wants the content.
Wait, hold on. That Tempo could win this. Well, no, because Tempo can't win 2500 beer berries. So Tempo really can't win this, regardless. But
Hypothetically, Tempo has the 7B of his life, delays it, goes back into 7A.
Oh my god.
Maybe something could happen.
What a troll. I mean, okay, in theory, you don't know where Tempo is. Tempo could be in 7A going for, like, could have been trailing behind you that whole time. And going for 2500 berries now. So, I mean, you might look at it like Tempo's not going to spend all his time doing 7B, so I'll do 7B. But Tempo is, in fact, in 7B, so.
I think this might be a bit of a galaxy braining yourself out of the easiest win possible.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, Vertle wins basically no matter what they do, but will make it will make Tio and Crab have to wait a little bit longer for their match.
That's okay, it gives Tio time to get here. Tio did not need time to get here.
Oh no, Tempo, please.
Okay, Tempo makes it through. Bertle is closing the gap a little bit, only a checkpoint and change behind now.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if Vertle can catch up here. I don't expect it, but I mean, 7B is a level where you can take some massive depth, so
Yeah,
it only takes a couple mistakes.
even if Bertle loses the race to 7B, there's always 3 blue, 3 red to fall back on.
Yeah, and this is not quite like 7A. This is not a level where Vertle is quite as comfortable, I believe. Talia, I hate that you have pointed that out. I'm gonna be staring at that for the rest of the match.
So Tempo, this is just their second B-side, right?
Yes, it is.
and I think they just have the 1A blue.
3A. When they got 3A when they went back to get the cassette and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, blue heart's not a problem. I mean, okay, there is a world where Tempo can win this with like some perfect delays. If you bait Fertile into playing like basically all 7B here, you take Weather in like flag 1 or something. And you do have some time to get that last B side, get 2,500 meters. I mean, I don't know. Oh wait, Vertil wins. Like this would be Vertil's third B side as well. So yeah, okay, never mind. That's probably not realistic.
Yeah.
Then.
Tempo's not gonna finish this with enough time to play a whole another B side.
How many blue hearts does Vertil have?
I believe 2. 1A and 3A.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, blue hearts are not negligible time-wise. When you include all the menuing and stuff, if you need 3, that's like a solid minute. Or close to a minute, maybe a bit less, but they're definitely not negligible in bingo.
Yeah, there's also the extra few seconds it might otherwise take, because I think Vertil's gonna have to go for the Ridge Heart and not, because, or no, actually never mind, what am I saying?
Anyway, Tempo immediately takes Summit B-side, so... Ooh, Vertil returns to map. Does not finish for 3 blue, 3 red. And goes back in now. Okay, so yeah, Vertil just wins off of this still. I mean, because Tempo is... In theory, because Vertil, if Tempo went into 2B, I think it would be very close. But Tempo is going 2,500, so... Well, Vertil turns to map again. But Vertil has 2K unlocked here, so this also wins. Like, despite all that's happened, Vertil is still in a position where they can do basically anything and win.
Maybe we see a sick multitask with a quit out after 2K, back into 7B.
If Vertil quits out at 2K and goes back into 7B, I will cry.
At this point, we're not even really talking strategy, just the most ridiculous thing that could happen.
I mean, Vertil could have won this like 10 minutes ago, so this is not a whole lot to really say about the match that we haven't already said several times. Alright, Vertil finishing 2K, do we see the quit out?
Could it be?
Nah, okay.
No.
Okay, I mean, if we're gonna talk about ridiculous things happening, let's say he misses one of the last berries. Has to play all of 2.5k again.
There are definitely some missable berries in this checkpoint. I'm pretty sure in my ARB PB I have to go back for some berries in 2.5k.
Huh? That's great. Honestly, 2.5k ARB is a great checkpoint. Like I've seen that completely unironically, by the way. I love 2.5k ARB. I think the skip for the berry is cool. I really like these rooms for these berries. The last room movement for the last 2 berries is like awesome. I think it's just a great checkpoint, except for the first berry. First berry sucks. Everything else is cool. Okay, Brittle not getting this berry.
And
There's the tech. GG.
GG to both players.
Brittle Bingo Sync chat, all caps. You psycho, you took my 7B.
Yeah,
Incredible.
even though the end seemed somewhat like a done deal, it was still an entertaining match. I mean, the site skip, it definitely could have swung the other way depending on how things went after that.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this already, but really it just came down to Riddle winning both Resort and Summit. So, yeah. Exciting match. And coming up next, I'm sure this will be a fantastic match. 2 excellent players in Tio and Crab.
I'm very excited for this one.
Alright, so just reading the countdown here. What do we have on this board? The complete 1A start without dashing. I see 1-up in 2A, 3 1-ups, 1-up in 2 chapters, old site cassette.
This is honestly a lot of the things that Crab wants to see in a board. 1-ups, Pico, some grabless and dashless.
Decent amount of resort on this board. We have Theo and Shaft, Mess Berries, Grabless Shaft, 6 winged is going to incentivize your resort, as well as 8 winged. You've got 3 Theo cutscenes. But yeah, I mean, there's also so much quick early stuff. We talked about the 1-ups. We'll see if either player goes 1A start without dashing here. I think with the 1-up stuff on the board and the resort being strong, I don't know if you'd go first pass for that, but you could.
Yeah, there's enough stuff that incentivizes being first in the site. Like you could get site cassette. Maybe if you
We also have... We have 4 cassettes, 5 cassettes.
Again.
Ridge B-side, 3 B-sides, 10 binos. So potentially some 4B potential. Crab is a known 4B fan. But Tio is, of course, also a very good 4B player. So I think we could see either player go for that.
Okay, both players have dashed.
Yep, and it looks like they're both going for 1-ups.
This makes sense. If you're practiced, this doesn't necessarily lose a huge amount of time, and it'll advantage you to at least the 2 1-up objectives.
Both players only getting 4 berries in start, so both players are going for progress 1-ups here, which I think that's good because there's no objective you get for taking a single 1-up. So
we might see a progress 3-up here from one of them.
That would be so based.
I think we might see it.
Who's gonna get this? So close. And it turns red. Tio just barely wins the 3-up.
Alright.
Great.
A match starting with double progress 3-up is incredible.
Wow. Did Crab lose that because he went for the chasm wing there? I don't think he needed that.
Yeah, Crab did not need chasm wings, unless I missed a collect somewhere. I don't think... no, Crab didn't get chasm wings. Crab got the one right before it, which he did need.
Yes, but he went into the room, like he missed a chasm wing, but he went into the room. Anyway, Teal wins that. We'll see if either player goes for 1-up here. Get 1-up in, well, actually, we have 1-up in 2 and 1-up in 2A, so I imagine both players will. Crab skipping the first berry. I wonder if he's going to go for cassette. Let Tio have the 1-ups.
Nope. Crab going for 1-up.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting, because, I mean, Tio's definitely going to win this one. And there's the ticks.
Yeah, Tio just went for the fastest 6 berries for the 1-up.
And I think Tio's going to probably go for cassette here and win it. And there's the tick. So yeah, very strong start for Tio. Takes all 4 of these early objectives, and Crab but like went for all of them. So Tio Alpha still has a progress lead. That's huge.
Oh, I see. Crab was ordering the 1-up to be like closer to the cassette at the end of it, maybe, but didn't ultimately pay off. Crab's now in 2B.
I mean, it's something. Try and counter your opponent. I mean, so far you've been just right behind them, and that has not been working well. So you go 2B, try and get something different. I mean, there's 3 B sides, and there's 10 binos. So you're getting stuff out of this.
Yeah. I just wonder if you just can't afford to be behind progress, even though you kind of know you already are.
I wonder if maybe a different play you could have gone for after losing all the 2A stuff. Just skip fight. Go into resort. I mean, it gets you ahead in progress. If you can delay properly, win the resort stuff. I don't know, I mean, it's something that comes up. And obviously it didn't happen, so not much point in thinking about it now, but... Because as is, Tia's going to be winning resort stuff, presumably.
Does seem that way.
And that's
Tio enters it.
I think this match could sort of be pretty lopsided pretty quick here if Tio wins all this resort stuff.
It also might be a while still before Crab ticks an objective.
I mean, well, yeah. Where are you gonna tick is Crab?
Like, Crab could go back and get 1A star dashless, but I don't think that's the move here.
But we do see the resort skip, which you pretty much have to do because Tia's definitely in the resort.
I guess 4B?
I imagine we'll see 4B here. I would be surprised if we don't. You don't play 2B here on this board if you're not going to play 4B as well.
So theoretically, Crab plays 4B, 5B, gets the 4B objective, gets 3B sides, ahead 2 binos. Probably wins. Actually, I don't even know if that wins 4 and 5 cassettes.
I think Tio's favored for. If Crab goes 4B, Tio's probably favored even for cassette length. Maybe. Well, if you're doing Gravelous Shaft, you're probably not doing demo, so you might be getting to cassette.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking. Tio could get the resort cassette and then I imagine just Ridge.
Anyway, we do see Crab playing 4A, so
Okay. Stems the bleeding on the progress disadvantage a bit.
ooh,
Ooh,
Double
the second
C-pop.
C-pop. The worst.
and then uses up stamina there. Unfortunate, Crab.
Tio finishing up Mess Arb.
Yes, Bracky, that is correct. This is in fact Celeste, and not Undertale. Very good observation.
So Crab's gonna finish out Ridge. What next? Just continue playing progress?
I'd start thinking about going back for stuff like when I start without dashing, perhaps.
Yeah. At least get the phone, right?
Yeah, definitely Theo phone. I don't know. I don't really see like what is Crab's path to winning this. Let's start with what is Tio gonna do after Resort? Maybe you just play Ridge, skip Temple, although there's not a ton in Summit.
There's at least a few Summit things. Plus, hit a Kevin block from 4 sides. And we do see Tio getting the cassette.
What was that strat? The hell? I've never seen that demo. That was sick.
That was sick. I know Tio's been grinding heart plus cassette ILs to help with the all hearts grind. But wow.
Anyway, we do see Crab getting 1A start without dashing.
Yeah, Crab is on the board.
Yo takes Gravelous Shaft. Did not take huge mess berries. Did he miss a berry?
I was not watching closely enough. I'm pretty sure Tio got at least the ones.
It looks like when he paused, it looked like he had all the mess berries, maybe,
Yeah.
or not.
Yeah.
I might
Or did
be.
Tio skip the towels once? Because I'm pretty sure Tio got.
I may be spreading misinformation on the internet here, but skip the books.
Skipped books. Oh yeah, because the first 2 in the berry tracker are not necessarily the first 2 in the ARB route.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah,
I
those
forget
2.
what Anyway, Crab takes the phone here.
Crab takes 20 berries and 5A and then Theo's phone.
To be fair to the devs, it took the Celeste community like 2 years to figure out which barb order was faster. So, shout out to Chest's first. Chest Battles book. Which is in fact not even that close to being faster, but everyone thought it was for like a year. Hello, Reed. Welcome back. Yeah, this game, I mean, I wouldn't say it's close, but it's like, it's not like, Crab got very closely locked out of 4 straight early game objectives. And then, yeah, it's just, and then was still behind in progress. So yeah, this has just been very rough for Crab. Hasn't played badly, but it's also not really close, unfortunately.
Theo
Probably
seems
not
to be
quite
doing
over,
more or less what we said. Got the cassette, but oh, slight change of heart.
This is for 4 cassettes. Makes sense. And Crab was just going back into Chasm for a cassette here too, or oh, this is for Winged.
Probably with intentions of getting cassette too. Maybe not.
Yeah. Yeah, also gonna grab the Winged. Crab, this is only gonna get him to 4 Winged Berries. So, those objectives are definitely still TOs.
Crab also played 2B, so it doesn't have Awake.
Crab into Resort.
Okay.
Gonna try and steal 6 Winged and maybe Messberry? I mean, it's a play. You get Pico as well.
Yeah, you gotta do something to snag things. You can't really just let Tio have anything freely.
Yeah, but Tio is gonna be winning 6 Winged here. Crab is gonna be a bit too slow, I think.
This is the 6th one? Yep.
Yep.
Oh, I think we're gonna see Tio finish Messarb and Tico too, perhaps. Basically just grabbing everything Crab goes for right before Crab gets it.
Oh no. Crab. This is so tragic.
It's one of those things that happens sometimes in bingo when 2 players have the same ideas. Like, the score is 9-2, but a few seconds of execution here and there, and it could be, like, it could be a very different story. It could be 6-5.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe.
Yeah, I mean, the difference between those first 4 objectives had to be like 15 seconds total across all 4 combined.
And that's the difference between 9-2 or 5-6.
So Tio gets the Theo cutscenes here. And then, I mean, as Tio, you can do whatever you want at this point. You can go Pico, you could go 4B, you could most likely probably just skip Temple and go into Summit. Oh wait, no, you need to finish Ridge first, of course.
Yeah.
So actually, no, Crab. Perhaps get into Summit first here, or late game. Not that it really matters, but quits out anyway. Depth. What is in depth that you want? Or no, it's 5A start. It's in 5A start. 20 berries, I guess.
20 berries. Presumably, Crab expects to have to get 15 and 5 as part of some desperate win con. Could also just be wanting to get a bit more on the board.
Yeah. Make the final score look a little more respectable.
How many berries has Tio been getting in Ridge?
You got a decent amount of fast ones. I mean, Ridge has so many, like, just berries that take, like, no time.
Yeah.
You can get, like, 20 berries in Ridge and lose, like, 30 seconds.
Tio's just going for the simplest stuff left. This will be Kevin and hit a Kevin block on 4 sides.
Yep. Could also get 5 cassettes here if you just played a Hollows. That would be a clean way to do it. And Crab just goes GG. Yeah, right match.
GG.
That does just happen sometimes. Get
Good
locked
thing
out over and over. It snowballs.
Yeah. It's not the end of Crab's tournament, luckily, so we will get a chance at redemption. And despite the way the score might look, that match, it was definitely a lot closer than the score looked at the end. That's for sure.
For sure. Yeah, thank you for watching, everyone. We are gonna have more matches tomorrow. Tomorrow should be the winner's second round and the loser's first round. I don't know if we're gonna show a bracket here. Here it is. So we will have Vertil versus Raki and Jax versus Tio in the top bracket, and Tempo, Talia, and Reed Crab on the bottom. Reed Crab should be a fantastic match. Those two have played each other like dozens and dozens of times.
Yeah, that one's definitely an exciting one, but honestly, with these expert players, there's not a matchup I see where I'm not excited to see what happens.
Yeah. Just 8 fantastic players here.
Should be another fun day of bingo.
It should. Yeah. Thank you for watching, everyone. Looks like we're going to be rating someone here. And yeah. Thank you for watching Bingo. Tune in tomorrow for more Bingo. Bingo, bingo, bingo.
Bingo.
The raid message is Bingo. I'm sensing a theme here.